The Royal Rumble is one of the most exciting events in the WWE, with surprise returns and impressive spots. One of the big four PLEs and the start of the road to WrestleMania. Now, if you don't know how the Rumble works, or Michael Cole hasn't told you enough times, two superstars start in the ring with new entrants coming out every 2 minutes, and you get eliminated by being thrown over the top rope and having both feet hitting the floor. Some Rumbles have been booked to perfection, while others, not so much. Today we will be ranking all of the Rumbles from worst to best. Subscribe. Number 45, The Greatest Royal Rumble. The Greatest Royal Rumble was the first pay-per-view that WWE did in Saudi Arabia as part of their 10-year deal to do 2 shows per year. Its main event was a 50-man Royal Rumble for the Greatest Royal Rumble trophy and championship, with the best part of the match being Titus O'Neil tripping on the way to the ring and disappearing underneath it. This Rumble was just used to break records, with Daniel Bryan lasting 1 hour, 16 minutes and 5 seconds, beating out Rey Mysterio's previous 1 hour and 2 minute record, and Braun Strowman beating out Roman Reigns for 12 elimination in a single Rumble with 13 eliminations, and winning the whole thing. Other than those 2 feats, there was no storytelling in this match, no evolution of character, it was just there for the sake of it. Number 44, the 2015 Royal Rumble. 2015 Royal Rumble was meant to be the saving grace from the previous year's Rumble, which we will speak more on soon. Now, let's start off with the best things about this match. Bray Wyatt. He had an amazing performance and really made an impact and build with the Wyatt family and his character. Now on to the bad. This Rumble is so bad that even Roman Reigns, who won it, said he tries to forget this Rumble. Daniel Bryan, who was hot off his massive win at Mania the previous year, he only lasted 10 minutes. They tried to make up for the wrong guy winning the previous year by having the wrong guy win the Rumble this year. But we all know Vinnie Mac loves his big, strong men. While the surprise entrant in DDP was fun, the Rumble as a whole did not live up to expectations. The booking here was just awful. Number 43, the 2014 Royal Rumble. Now the 2014 Royal Rumble was a really good build up to disappointment.
That's what she said!
Roman Reigns broke Kane's elimination record by getting 12, even eliminating his Shield brethren after the Lunatic Friend tried to eliminate Reigns moments before. Now with JBL, Kevin Nash making returns, everything was smooth sailing until the very end of the Rumble. Now everyone knew that Batista was returning, and with the Yes movement in full swing, everyone thought that the American Dragon Daniel Bryan would be the number 30 spot and win headlining WrestleMania 30. Instead, and it caused everyone to boo Rey Mysterio for the first time in his career. Batista winning his second Rumble to a crowd full of boos was not the ending WWE expected. If Roman Reigns won this Rumble, the crowd would have been behind it. Not as much as Daniel Bryan though. It just left a bitter taste in the mouth, especially with it being CM Punk's last in-ring performance with WWE until 2024. Number 42. The 1995 Royal Rumble. The 1995 Royal Rumble saw the British Bulldog and the Heartbreak Kid go the distance from spot 1 and 2 to 29 and the winner. A very impressive feat until you remember that the match was only 38 minutes and 41 seconds. This Rumble just didn't have the Rumble feel. First of all, with the superstars in this Rumble, the rest of the card featured talent such as Jeff Jarrett against Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental title, The Undertaker had a singles match, Diesel and Bret Hart had a match for the WWF title, and then there was the finals of the tag team tournament for the vacant tag titles, which saw the 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly versus the $1 Million Corporation. But enough about the rest of the card. This Rumble was basically a glorified singles match between Davey Boy Smith and HBK, with very little star power and a short running time. Unfortunately, HBK's number 1 spot victory is very low on the list. Number 41, the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble. Now the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble had a few fun moments. The match started off with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. AJ Styles managed to last the longest in the match at 29 minutes and 6 seconds, getting 6 eliminations. Other than the phenomenal one, there were only 2 other men who lasted over 20 minutes. Austin Theory, who was entrant number 3, and Dolph Ziggler, who was entrant number 16. Johnny Knoxville was an interesting choice for a celebrity appearance, but it was made up for with the surprise entrance of Bad Bunny. This was probably the best part of the match. Now on to the end of the match. Shane O'Mac entered at 28 and the winner entered at 30. The Beast Brock Lesnar. I don't think that Brock needed the win. I mean, he was already fighting Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship and everyone knew he would be at Mania. The Rumble was just boring. Number 40, the 1999 Royal Rumble. The 1999 Royal Rumble was a creation from Vince McMahon to do... I have no idea what. I mean, the match kicked off with Vince McMahon himself and Steve Austin at number 2, and both men lasted the entirety of the match, both lasting 58 minutes and 38 seconds. And with the help from The Rock, Vince McMahon was able to eliminate the Texas Rattlesnake to win a title shot at Mania, which he then forfeited the following night on Raw, giving the title shot to Austin anyway. But I'll save that one for another video. Kane was in the Rumble for 53 seconds and got 4 eliminations, with one of those being himself. And now no one in the Rumble, apart from the openers, lasted over 20 minutes. Mabel got eliminated by 3 men not in the Rumble to kickstart his Viscera gimmick the following night on Raw, and Chyna was the first woman ever to be in a Royal Rumble. But Austin eliminated her after 35 seconds. The whole Rumble just didn't feel like the pay-per-view main event from the previous year. No, I didn't think they would let Austin win 3 years in a row, but he basically did. The 1999 Royal Rumble was basically a setup for the following night's Raw. Number 39, the 2011 Royal Rumble. The 2011 Royal Rumble was WWE's first ever 40-man Royal Rumble, which featured returns from Diesel and Booker T. Now, the main reason for the Royal Rumble being 40-man was to allow for both the Nexus, led by CM Punk at the time, and the Core, led by Wade Barrett. CM Punk started off the Rumble and lasted a very respectable 35 minutes with 7 eliminations, but did get attacked by the Core soon after the match begun. And then once the Nexus were in and doing their Nexus thing of destroying everyone, none other than Big Match John came to the ring and eliminated literally all of the Nexus, squashing so much young talent. Santino Marella being in the final 2 was very unexpected. I can only dream of Santino Marella winning. But instead, Alberto Del Rio picked up the victory, which I wasn't upset about. Number 38, the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble. Now, the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble began with Brock Lesnar as the WWE Champion. During the first 26 minutes of this match, Lesnar got 13 eliminations, beating Roman Reigns' record for the most eliminations in a single match and tying with Braun Strowman, which I'm not counting. Within these 13 eliminations, the Beast Incarnate buried a number of talent, including the Rumble return of John Morrison, eliminating him in 9 seconds, the returning MVP, and even the main roster debut of Keith Lee. Even Braun Strowman lasted under 2 minutes against the Beast. Then entered Ricochet, and then the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. The 2 of them together managed to overthrow the Beast with a combination of a low blow and a claymore, leading to a stare down between the Beast and McIntyre, hinting to a potential winner. With the best part of this match being the return of the rated R superstar Edge. McIntyre eventually won by eliminating Roman Reigns. The second half of the Rumble was good, but the burial of the talent cannot be overlooked, even in the second half with the main roster debut of Matt Riddle. Number 37, the 2013 Royal Rumble. 2013 Royal Rumble was basically set in stone before the match even began, with The Rock and John Cena planning to face each other at Mania a year in advance. As soon as Cena won the Rumble, and we all knew he would, the outcome of the main event between CM Punk and The Rock was predictable. The Rumble is all about surprise, and there wasn't any with this one. That being said, a surprise return from The Godfather was fun, Kofi using JBL's chair as a pogo stick was great, and Sheamus had a great showing too. Bo Dallas held his own on his main roster debut, but the match was already won, so nothing was too exciting other than that. Number 36, the 2000 Royal Rumble. The first pay-per-view of the new millennium saw the 2000 Royal Rumble at Madison Square Garden, featuring the likes of Chris Jericho, Edge, the British Bulldog Kane, X-Pac, and loads more superstars. Rikishi had a very good showing and got 7 eliminations, Bob Backlund made a surprise return, and Chyna makes her second Royal Rumble appearance. Then it got down to the final three. X-Pac was eliminated by The Rock. The officials didn't see it, so he got back into the ring and then was eliminated by The Big Show. Then it was between The Rock and The Big Show to decide who would main event WrestleMania. I mean, did Vinnie Mac really think that it wouldn't be obvious who was winning? Obviously, The Big Show would win and go on to main event Mania. Of course not. It was so obvious that The Rock was going to win. It just took all the edge off the ending of the match. Number 35. The 1988 Royal Rumble. The inaugural Royal Rumble saw 20 men enter the ring, one at a time every 90 seconds. The number 1 and 2 entrants were Bret Hart and Tito Santana. Bret Hart had a very good showing, lasting over 25 minutes, with lots of help from the Hart Foundation, with the Anvil Jim Neidhart entering at number 4. The ring filled up with superstars, and then it never really got unfilled. It felt really busy and crowded. Then, the future American Patriot entered at number 13, and the crowd did not stop chanting, "Ho! USA! USA!" for the remainder of the match. The Ultimate Warrior had little impact on the match, but One Man Gang, who had a clear size advantage in this type of match, got 5 eliminations, but he fell at the hands of the American Patriot himself, crowning Jim Duggan the very first Royal Rumble winner. Number 34, the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble. The 2022 Women's Royal Rumble was better than the men's of that year, but not by much, with Bianca Belair lasting an incredible 47 minutes and 30 seconds, coming down to the final 3. I genuinely thought she might have won and been the first woman to win back-to-back Rumbles. But yet again, someone who didn't need the win won, but we'll get to that in a second. The sheer amount of Hall of Famers and surprise returns was too much, and it showed how thinly veiled the women's roster was at the time. Now on to the winner. Ronda Rousey won by last eliminating Charlotte Flair, but realistically, it is the exact same scenario as the men's Rumble from this year. Rousey was always going to be at Mania. She's too big a name not to be. So why not give the win to push someone like Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley, who all had great showings in the match? The content in this Rumble was a lot better than the men's, but still. 2022 was not a good year for the Rumble. Number 33, the 1989 Royal Rumble. The second ever Rumble was the first ever 30-man Rumble in 1989. Star power in this Rumble was so much bigger than the first, with Andre the Giant, Mr. Perfect, Jake Roberts, a young Shawn Michaels, Honky Tonk Man, Randy Savage, Arn Anderson, Hulk Hogan, to name a few. Axe and Smash of Demolition start off the Rumble at 1 and 2, pitting the tag team against each other. Hulk Hogan got a record-breaking 10 eliminations, a record which would stand until 2001, including eliminating the Macho Man, which began the breakup of the Mega Powers. Andre, probably the favourite to win, eliminated himself after Jake went back to the locker room to get Damien his snake. Warlord set the shortest time in a Rumble, 2 whole seconds, which is a record that would stand for 20 years until 2009. Number 32, the 2012 Royal Rumble. Trying not to rip off a Friends episode title, the 2012 Royal Rumble, the one with all the announcers. Now, I actually really enjoyed Sheamus winning. I think it was unexpected, but still a strong choice, even though the person that should have won is Chris Jericho. But in terms of the Rumble as a whole, it wasn't the best. There were some good moments, but that's all. They were fleeting moments, such as Kofi doing his first save in the Rumble with the handstand, Jim Duggan returning, the winner of the first Royal Rumble. The Miz and Cody Rhodes had great runs, and Karma was the 4th female superstar to ever be in a Rumble match. But with Jerry the King Lawler, Booker T and Michael Cole getting involved in the match and taking away spots from deserving superstars, this Rumble was disappointing. Number 31, the 1993 Royal Rumble. The 1993 Royal Rumble was the first Rumble to be for a title match at WrestleMania. Bob Backlund set a new longevity record lasting 1 hour, 1 minute and 10 seconds, which is a record that stood for 11 years. Giant Gonzalez made his debut in this match, but he wasn't actually an entrant in the match. He just came down the ramp and eliminated The Undertaker, after The Undertaker got 4 eliminations in just over 4 minutes. Then, at number 27 entered Yokozuna. This was the second Rumble that someone won at the fabled 27 position. He got 7 eliminations in under 15 minutes. But in terms of a Rumble, it was average. Number 30, the 1991 Royal Rumble. The 1991 Royal Rumble was the first Rumble to have a two-time winner and a back-to-back winner. But before that, Rick Martel set a new longevity record at 52 minutes and 17 seconds, previously held by Ted DiBiase from the year before. Randy Savage didn't show up and was eliminated by default when the next entrant was buzzed out. Now, if you were to think about the only man who would have been booked to win 2 Rumbles back-to-back in the early 90s, everyone would have said the Hulkster. He did get 7 eliminations, but when it's between the Hulkman and Earthquake, we all knew who was gonna win. But that being said, an interesting fact about this Rumble is that 1/3 of the entrants in this Rumble were in the Rumble for over 20 minutes. Also, this match was the Rumble debut of The Undertaker. Number 29, the 2020 Women's Royal Rumble. The 2020 Women's Royal Rumble was, for a lack of a better word, pointless. There was so much that should have been done with this Rumble which would have made it great. Instead, Charlotte Flair was the winner, who didn't need the winner. She was already one of the biggest names in female wrestling. That being said, it was still better than the Blitz that was the Men's Rumble from this year. Bianca Belair had a great showing and got 8 eliminations. It was in for 33 minutes, which would have been great, apart from the fact that Shayna Baszler, who entered at number 30 and got 8 eliminations in under 4 minutes and 30 seconds. The best part about this match was the appearance of Santina Marella. Number 28, the 1998 Royal Rumble. The 1998 Royal Rumble was a bit of a mess in general. One of the referees got kicked in the head during Phineas Godwin's elimination and got a concussion. Triple H and Chyna came in with a Honky Tonk Man to eliminate Owen Hart, and they were also part of the main event in the casket match with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Now, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the winner and the 3rd man in history to win 2 Rumbles and 2 Rumbles back to back. But the best part of this match was having Mick Foley enter as Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love. Number 27, the 2017 Royal Rumble. The 2017 Royal Rumble was average for me. It was used to set up for Mania, which it did very well, but it was just expected. The only unsure element was the winner. Everyone thought that Roman Reigns would finally win his 2nd Rumble, especially with being the final entrant. Braun Strowman got 7 eliminations and was being the monster he was at the time. Ty Dillinger made his main roster debut with this Rumble, being the number 10 entrance. It was very fitting. Within the setup for Mania, it saw the likes of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, and The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. With Goldberg eliminating Lesnar carrying on from Survivor Series the previous year, The Undertaker was eliminated by Roman Reigns to set up for their WrestleMania match. Chris Jericho lasted for over an hour, and Randy Orton winning the Rumble was a better choice than Roman winning. Number 26, the 1990 Royal Rumble. The 1990 Royal Rumble is where we start getting towards the better Rumbles. This star-studded Rumble kicked off with Ted DiBiase, who, for the first time in Rumble history, eliminated the number 2 entrant before the number 3 entrant was buzzed in. DiBiase also lasted for 44 minutes and 47 seconds, at the time the longest in Rumble history. However, with this stacked match with Dusty Rhodes, Mr. Perfect, Andre the Giant and many more, it was a genuine question as to who would win. After 6 men were involved with the elimination of the Canadian Earthquake, the face-off of the decade would happen. Right at the beginning of the decade, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior find themselves eliminating everyone else in the ring, leaving 2 of the giants at the time. Hogan would go on to win the Rumble, last eliminating Mr. Perfect. Number 25, the 1996 Royal Rumble. The 1996 Royal Rumble was a redemption from the previous years. While Mr. WrestleMania's coast-to-coast victory in the previous year was tarnished by the length and lack of star power, this year's Rumble was different. There was a vast difference in the entrance, with Hunter Hearst Helmsley being the first entrant, lasting over 48 minutes, with the return of Jake Roberts since his last appearance at WrestleMania 8 in 1992, Yokozuna, 1-2-3 Kid, Owen Hart, Diesel, British Bulldog, and Glenn Jacobs entering in his first Rumble match. Now, Shawn Michaels entered at number 18 and got 8 eliminations, making him the 2nd man to win 2 Rumbles and the 2nd man to win back-to-back Rumbles. Rumbles. Number 24, the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble. The 2023 Women's Royal Rumble started off with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan in the ring. Now both these women managed to go the distance and make it to the final two contestants, but we'll get to that shortly. With some great returns from Asuka and Nia Jax, this Rumble was good. Damage Control ran wild and proved a dominating fourth, and with Michelle McCool coming back and getting 2 eliminations, this all led to the best final 3 that could possibly be in this match. After Nikki Cross was eliminated by Liv Morgan, the ring was left with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Asuka. Once Asuka was eliminated, it left the number 1 and number 2 entrants, both lasting for over an hour and a minute. Rhea was the deserving winner of an all-round good Rumble. Number 23, the 2002 Royal Rumble. The 2002 Royal Rumble saw a record being broken. Austin got his 36th overall elimination, breaking the all-time elimination record, which would stand for 8 years until the 2010 Royal Rumble. Now, who would have thought that one of the biggest names in the business would be eliminated by a fairly recent upstart? Maven only started his career in 2001, and being in the inaugural season of Tough Enough, who would have thought this young upstart would eliminate The Undertaker, who had been running rampant throughout the early stages of the match. Undertaker was only in the match for 7 minutes and 40 seconds, and he still got 7 eliminations. Now, Triple H was the one who managed to win and secure a title shot at WrestleMania, and he was also the only one who lasted for over 20 minutes in a Rumble that lasted over an hour. Number 22, the 2018 Women's Royal Rumble. Reaching the halfway point on the list, we have the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. The 2018 Women's Rumble was a turning point for WWE, with the start of women becoming equal in the WWE. With over half of the entrant being Hall of Famers / returnees for the historic event, it was a lot of fun. We saw returns of Lita, Tori Wilson, Molly Holly, Michelle McCool, Vicky Guerrero, Kelly, Jacqueline, Beth Phoenix, the Bella Twins, and of course, Trish Stratus. Along with 2 NXT call-ups, as the women's roster wasn't the fullest at the time. Sasha Banks was the Iron Woman in this match, lasting 54 minutes, and there was a great mix of old and new talent. The right woman definitely won. Asuka. It was a spectacle in itself, but it was used to create history rather than the Rumble feel that it should have had. Number 21, the 2005 Royal Rumble. The 2005 Royal Rumble was an eventful one. It saw Vince McMahon tear both his quads and a botch finished. But we'll get to that. Now, if it wasn't for the botch finished, it would definitely be higher on the list. With Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit hot off their previous Mania wins, their entrance at number 1 and 2 already saw this match off to a good start. With Edge getting 5 eliminations, everything was set for being a great Rumble. After Edge was eliminated penultimately by both Batista and John Cena, it leaves us with the 2 final contenders. Now, they were both deserving of the win at the time, and when Batista lost his footing and slipped out the ring, causing both men to hit the floor at the same time. Enraged, Vince McMahon ran down to the ring where he got caught on the apron and tore both of his quads. Vince then ordered that the match be restarted with the last 2 participants, allowing Batista to eliminate Cena properly and win the Rumble. Number 20, the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble. The 2024 Women's Royal Rumble saw Naomi last for an hour and 2 minutes, breaking the longevity record in the Women's Royal Rumble. This record was broken a minute later, however, by Bayley once Naomi was eliminated. We saw an appearance from Jordynne Grace from TNA, also the in-ring debut of Jade Cargill. Now, Jade was teased ever since the Fastlane pre-show in October, but seeing her finally in the ring was great. And with her getting 3 eliminations was a great start to her WWE career. Now, speaking on eliminations, Nia Jax got 8 eliminations and Bayley got 7. With Bayley picking up the win by last eliminating Liv Morgan, it was a good choice. A generally good Rumble. Number 19, the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble. The 2021 Men's Royal Rumble was the 3rd Rumble where the number 1 and 2 spots went the distance. Edge, who returned at the Rumble the previous year, and Randy Orton entered as 1 and 2. However, the difference between the other 2 Rumbles that saw spots 1 and 2 go the distance, this match had more impact on the storyline and had feel-good moments, such as the surprise return of Carlito. NXT's Damian Priest had a great showing, getting 4 eliminations. Kane made a surprise return, allowing a brief Team Hell No reunion with Daniel Bryan. And another surprise return from Christian, allowing a feel-good moment between Edge and his old tag team partner. Seth Rollins also returned from a 2-month hiatus, and then we get to the final two between the two men who started off the match. Edge managing to throw Orton over the top rope and making himself the 8th two-time winner of the Rumble match, and 11 years to the day of his first Rumble victory. Number 18, the 1997 Royal Rumble. The 1997 Royal Rumble was the first of Stone Cold's 3 Rumble wins. Now, an interesting fact about this Rumble was that this happened during a time where the WWF were in partnership with Lucha Libre, so there was 4 wrestlers from there. This Rumble was the year after Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left the company to go to WCW. So, to get back at the two who broke all kayfabe with their final match at the WWF during this Rumble, a fake Razor Ramon and Diesel entered. Now, as fake Diesel was Glenn Jacobs. This was his second Rumble and his last Rumble before he became the Big Red Machine. Now, during this match, Austin did get eliminated by Bret Hart, but he got back in the ring because the officials didn't see it because they were distracted by a brawl between the legends of hardcore, Terry Funk and Mankind. Austin 3:16 did match the elimination record, with Hulk Hogan getting 10 eliminations in the match and picking up the victory. Number 17, the 2003 Royal Rumble. The 2003 Royal Rumble was the first Rumble of the Ruthless Aggression era. It was John Cena's first ever Rumble, along with the next big thing, Brock Lesnar's first Rumble. This was also the first Rumble where WWE was split between Raw and SmackDown. Chris Jericho got 6 eliminations and went the longest in the match at 39 minutes. Now, in order for Brock Lesnar to get entered into the match, he had a match with The Big Show earlier in the card, so everyone knew that Lesnar would be in the match. It was just a case of when. The match went along, Rob Van Dam picked up 2 eliminations within his 33 minutes of the match. Then at number 29 was the next big thing, followed by The Undertaker at 30. Lesnar and The Undertaker got 9 eliminations between them, leaving them in the final 2, carrying on their feud from the end of 2002. Lesnar managed to eliminate The Undertaker, claiming his spot in the main event of WrestleMania. Number 16, the 2006 Royal Rumble. The 2006 Royal Rumble saw the unexpected happen. I mean, who would have thought that one of the smallest men in the WWE would go coast to coast winning a Rumble? Well, no one. Rey Mysterio was one of the most unlikely winners in history. Rey Mysterio was the second entrant across from Triple H at the opening of this match, with both men lasting over an hour and both getting 6 eliminations. Rey Mysterio would go on to break the longevity record, lasting 1 hour, 2 minutes and 15 seconds, a record that would stand for 17 years, because I'm not counting the greatest Royal Rumble. Shawn Michaels was eliminated by Shane McMahon, who wasn't in the match. Randy Orton was the final entrant, leaving him and Rey Mysterio as the final 2. As the new upstart, everyone thought Randy would win, and then who would have thought that a 5'6" man would win an event where you have to throw people over the top rope? It was a spectacle that no one ever would have guessed. Number 15, the 2019 Men's Royal Rumble. The 2019 Men's Royal Rumble was a very entertaining Rumble, and the WWE didn't know the outcome of the Rumble for so long. There was a number of potential winners, including The Rock, who would then feud with his cousin Roman Reigns at Mania. There was talk about Drew McIntyre or Braun Strowman winning, but we'll get to the outcome too. The match started with Elias as a number 1 entrant and Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett as number 2. They had a lot of fun and it was really good, especially because it was at the start of the match, so it didn't take away from the rest of the match. Seth Rollins came in at number 10 and lasted 43 minutes and got 3 eliminations. Braun Strowman got 6 eliminations, and then number 30 was supposed to be R-Truth, but he got taken out by Nia Jax. She then eliminated Mustafa Ali, then got a combination of finishers before she got thrown over the top rope by Rey Mysterio, leaving Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins in the final 2. Both deserving winners. Rollins managed to take the victory and cement his name in history in a very fun Rumble. Number 14, the 1994 Royal Rumble. The 1994 Royal Rumble was an interesting one as it had 2 winners. Now this was a time in the WWF where, because Hulk Hogan had just left, Vince was trying to find his new guy. Now this Rumble saw Diesel being the monster that he was, getting 7 eliminations. Lex Luger also managed to get 7 eliminations. And now on to the finish. After Shawn Michaels was eliminated, it left 2 men. Bret Hart and Lex Luger. They were both in the running to be the new Hulk Hogan, and this was Vince's way of finding his new star. Even though no one would ever be the Hulkster, this left both men going over the top rope and landing at the same time, being co-winners of the Rumble. Now, neither of these men managed to be the new Hogan, but it did make for a very entertaining finish. Number 13, the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble. The 2019 Women's Royal Rumble was the second ever Women's Royal Rumble, and it was better than the first one. This Rumble had no returns and was more about the storytelling than everything, with a lot of NXT call-ups, and with Natalya lasting over 56 minutes, she had the longest time in the match. Also noting that Ember Moon and Charlotte Flair went over 50 minutes. Charlotte also managing to get 5 eliminations. Now we get on to what makes this Rumble great. Becky Lynch was in a match trying to regain her title against Asuka early in the card, ultimately failing with Asuka retaining the title. Lana was supposed to be the number 28 entrant, but she suffered a storyline injury in the pre-show. Then Becky Lynch came out at number 28 to a huge pop and then went on to win the Rumble. This was a great surprise and a great ending to the Rumble. Number 12, the 2016 Royal Rumble. The 2016 Royal Rumble was the Authority's way of sticking it to the man. Roman Reigns was the WWE champion at the time, and he was entered as number 1 in the Rumble. And whoever won the Rumble would become champion. The start of this match went as expected, with Roman managing to eliminate the number 2 entrant Rusev before number 3 came out. Then as soon as the buzzer went off, the number 3 entrant, I Am Phenomenal, appeared on the screen. AJ Styles had made his WWE debut. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn rekindled their feud from NXT as Sami Zayn was called up during this match. After 20 minutes of the match, the League of Nations came and ambushed Roman under the influence of Vince McMahon, taking him out from under the bottom rope, leaving him in the match. Roman was then stretchered out and wouldn't return for 30 minutes. Once Roman had returned, we find ourselves now in the final 3. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Triple H. After Triple H had an amazing back and forth with Roman, he eventually eliminates him, leaving the game and the Lunatic Fringe to decide who will be the new WWE champion. After Dean Ambrose nearly became WWE champion, Triple H manages to throw the Fringe over the top rope and become a 14-time champion. Number 11. 2023 Men's Royal Rumble. The 2023 Men's Royal Rumble was a very good one. It saw Gunther break the longevity record by lasting for 1 hour, 11 minutes and 40 seconds, breaking Rey Mysterio's record from 2006. He made it all the way to the final 2 whilst getting 5 eliminations along the way. Booker T made a Rumble return, but he only lasted 42 seconds. Logan Paul entered his first Royal Rumble after making a return from injury and had an incredibly impressive spot with Ricochet, and he also managed to eliminate Seth Rollins, leaving the final 3 men, Paul, Gunther, and the number 30 entrant, Cody Rhodes. After Rhodes eliminated Paul, it left Gunther the number 1 entrant and Cody the number 30 entrant. Throughout the match, Cody managed to get 5 eliminations in 15 minutes, including Gunther, making Cody a Rumble winner and heading for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Number 10, the 2008 Royal Rumble. 2008 Royal Rumble was expected to just be another Rumble, with surprise returns from Jimmy Snuka and Roddy Piper. This Rumble was set for Big Hunter to win, I think. With Umaga and The Undertaker having great showings, no one knew who the final entrant was. Hornswoggle played a smart tactic by hiding under the ring and still managed to get an elimination on The Miz. Then when he tried to go out from underneath the ring to get another elimination, he finds himself between Big Daddy V and the world's strongest man. Then Finlay comes out and attacks Mark Henry and Big Daddy V, protecting Vince McMahon's son. Now we get onto the part that makes this Rumble in the top 10. John Cena. He suffered a pectoral injury and wasn't set to return until after Mania that year. Then all of a sudden, number 30 is ready to come out and creating one of the biggest pops in WWE history. Then goes on to win the match to a rapturous applause. Number 9, the 2001 Royal Rumble. The 2001 Royal Rumble saw Steve Austin become a 3-time winner of the Rumble. And just like anything with Steve Austin in at the time, the match was very good. It started off with Matt and Jeff Hardy getting 3 eliminations, including eliminating each other. This left Kane to come in and go wild, breaking the elimination record by getting 11 eliminations and lasting 53 minutes and 43 seconds. The Undertaker and Kane had a lot of fun getting rid of everyone as the Brothers of Destruction. The Rock managed to get 3 eliminations and make it to the final 3, with Kane and the Rattlesnake, who entered at the fabled number 27 spot. When The Rock tried to eliminate Stone Cold, Kane came from behind, leaving the Big Red Machine and the Rattlesnake. After looking like Kane was going to win, Austin hit Kane with a low blow, hit the stunner, picked up the chair that Kane had brought in, hit a number of shots to Kane's head, and threw him over the top rope. Number 8, the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble. The 2021 Women's Royal Rumble is the best Women's Rumble to date. It had the most deserving winner and a good level of returns and storytelling, with Shayna Baszler being the monster she is, getting 6 eliminations and lasting over 40 minutes. We saw the returns of Victoria and Tori Wilson and a lot of NXT stars as well. This Rumble was very fun. Rhea Ripley was a monster, getting a big push in this Rumble, setting up for her future title shot at Mania. She got 7 eliminations and lasted 39 minutes. Now, on to the winner. The woman who should have won the previous years over Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair. She was entrant number 3 and lasted 56 minutes and 49 seconds, getting 4 eliminations. After Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair eliminated Charlotte, the crowd were electric. Either woman was deserving of the victory. After an amazing back and forth, Bianca managed to pick up the victory. Number 7, the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble. 2018 Men's Royal Rumble was a great one. A good way to sum it up is the new guard versus the old guard. It saw the likes of Rhino, Cena, Orton and Mysterio go up against the likes of Adam Cole, Shinsuke, Andrade and Finn Balor. Now into the nitty gritty. Rusev and Finn Balor were the number 1 and 2, and Finn Balor lasted over 57 minutes, getting 4 eliminations. Ty Dillinger was supposed to be the number 10 entrant, just like in his Rumble debut, but he got attacked backstage, allowing Sami Zayn to take spot 10. Then at number 14 was Shinsuke Nakamura, lasting over 44 minutes and getting 3 eliminations. Somehow the final 2 competitors in the match were Roman Reigns and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now the reason this Rumble was so good is because the unexpected happened. Everyone thought that Roman would win, and when he was thrown over by Shinsuke, the crowd went wild. This is what the Rumble is all about. Number 6, the 2010 Royal Rumble. The 2010 Royal Rumble saw the Heartbreak Kid trying to win and get a shot at Mania against The Undertaker, and when he entered at number 18, it was looking good. He managed to get 6 eliminations, but this match was still very fun. The Great Khali got eliminated by the 3rd appearance ever of a woman in the Rumble, Beth Phoenix, by kissing him over the top rope. When you think about 2010 and who should be in the final 4 of the Rumble, WWE definitely got that right, with the final 4 being Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Edge and Batista. Batista eliminated Shawn Michaels, ending his chances at The Undertaker at Mania. Or so we thought. John Cena eliminating Batista, and the Ultimate Opportunist eliminating John Cena to win the Royal Rumble. This Rumble had some great moments, great booking, and led to the best streak match at WrestleMania. Number 5, the 2004 Royal Rumble. The 2004 Royal Rumble was a Rumble that got wiped from the file of WWE, but we'll get to that. One thing I really enjoyed about this Rumble is that there are a lot of qualification matches for it, so some of the talent was already known. The match started off with Chris Benoit and Randy Orton, both men putting in a very good shift, with Orton going for just under 34 minutes and eliminating 5 men, and Benoit breaking the longevity record at the time with 1 hour, 1 minute and 35 seconds. Now Chris Benoit, he managed to go the distance, winning from spot 1, lastly eliminating the Big Show to secure his place at WrestleMania. Now the reason that this Rumble is tainted is due to the controversial nature of his death. With the double murder-suicide of himself, his wife and son, WWE tried to remove all memory of Benoit from the files. Now this is one of the best Rumbles in history that WWE tried to make everyone forget. Number 4, the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble. The 2024 Men's Royal Rumble was the most recent one, and one of the best. With Jay and Jimmy being the number 1 and 2 spots, this Rumble was already off to a good start. With the two brothers in a feud after Jay left the bloodline, Jay was also the Iron Man of the match, lasting for just under 51 minutes. Andrade made a return at number 4 after being away at Lucha Libre and AEW for 4 years. Pat McAfee was a guest commentator at the event, but also a surprise entrant in the Rumble, but he very quickly eliminated himself. Brock Lesnar was supposed to be in the Rumble, but due to being involved in the allegations with Vince McMahon at the time, Bron Breakker was his replacement. Now, Bron managed to get 4 eliminations in just over 5 minutes, making a big impact on the big stage. Now onto the final 4. Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. Punk got rid of McIntyre, and after Gunther was eliminated by Cody Rhodes, we were down to a clash of titans. Cody trying to finish the story and Punk trying to main event Mania for the first time in his career. After a long back and forth, Cody managed to counter the GTS and throw Punk over, making him a back-to-back Rumble winner, a feat that hadn't happened in 26 years. Number 3, the 2009 Royal Rumble. The 2009 Royal Rumble saw Legacy in full force. This Rumble kicked off with Rey Mysterio and half of the tag team champions, John Morrison. Big shock early on in the match, and probably for the best, was that the Great Khali got eliminated first from a match type that favours the big guy. He was eliminated by Vladimir Kozlov, who got 3 eliminations in less than 3 minutes. Then Triple H entered the match, lasting for 50 minutes, and he got 6 eliminations across the whole match. A great spot in this match was when Rey Mysterio jumped from the announce table onto the backs of The Miz and John Morrison like steps to save himself. Then Legacy came into the Rumble. Perhaps one of my favourite moments in this match was when The Undertaker entered. At the sound of the gong, everyone in the ring froze, and it gave so much power and presence to the dead man. There was a great section between the Rhodes brothers. Santina Marella set the shortest time in the Rumble, beating out Warlord's time from 1989, as well as the surprise return of Jim Duggan, the winner of the first ever Rumble. Orton won with the help of Legacy by last eliminating Triple H. Number 2, the 1992 Royal Rumble. The 1992 Royal Rumble was the first Rumble where there was a title on the line. Whoever won the Rumble won the vacant WWF title. For the first time in Rumble history, a man went from spot number 3 all the way to win the match, lasting for an hour and 2 minutes, the longevity record at the time. Now the match was built for Flair, with him, Hogan and The Undertaker fighting over the title. With the lack of stardom within the first few entrants of the Rumble, no one thought that Ric Flair would be eliminated. That was until the latter half of the match when Roddy Piper entered at 15. Now there was some real competition. Then the competition kept coming, with Jake Roberts, The Undertaker, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan and Sid Justice. Hogan getting 4 eliminations and Sid getting 6 within 6 minutes. Now this match would have been number 1 if it wasn't for the ending. Ric Flair's victory was somewhat sullied by Hulk Hogan having to be the centre of attention. After Sid eliminated Hogan, Hogan then assisted in taking out Sid, allowing Rick to be the first man in history to go over an hour in the Rumble. But it was a great match, one of the best in Rumble history, if it wasn't for this match. Number 1, the 2007 Royal Rumble. The 2007 Royal Rumble tops our list. This Rumble had the best possible ending ever. There were a lot of potential winners in this match, which is what the Rumble is all about. Uncertainty and surprise. Glenn Jacobs made his 11th Rumble appearance, breaking the record for most Rumble appearances. Also in this Rumble was the record for most wrestlers involved in a single elimination. It took 9 men to throw Viscera over the top rope. Now, into the best part of the match. Let's start with when the Great Khali entered at number 28. He eliminated 7 men in under 4 minutes, until entrant 30. The crowd goes wild, and this Rumble is left with 6 men. Edge, Orton, Michaels, MVP, Khali, and The Undertaker. Undertaker quickly eliminates Khali and MVP. Then Shawn Michaels gets Orton and Edge out, leaving the Heartbreak Kid and the Dead Man. Undertaker sits up, HBK flicks up, and the real match is on. After the most intense matchup between these two icons, countless reversals, one sweet chin music too many, Undertaker slips out the way and throws Michael over, being the first superstar to win from spot 30 and cementing history, beginning the WrestleMania matches to follow. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe.